This is not a fairy tale, this is not a myth. This is the true story of a man named Daniel. A man whose faith was so unshakable, so undeniable that even the king who condemned him couldn't sleep that night. Let me take you back, ancient Babylon, one of the most powerful empires the world had ever seen, right in the middle of it. A young Hebrew man who refused to bow down to anything or anyone except his God.
Daniel had been taken from his homeland, brought to Babylon as a captive. But God's hand was on him. He rose through the ranks. He interpreted dreams. He had wisdom that baffled kings. And now, under King Darius the Mede, Daniel was one of the most respected officials in the entire kingdom. But here's the problem with being great. Not everyone celebrates your greatness.
The other governors and administrators were jealous. They watched Daniel. They searched for something. Anything they could use against him. A scandal, a bribe, a mistake, but there was nothing. The Bible says they could find no corruption in him, because he was faithful and neither corrupt nor negligent. So they came up with a plan.
They went to King Darius and said, "O great king, live forever. Issue a decree. For the next 30 days, anyone who prays to any god or human being except you, O king, shall be thrown into the lion's den." And the king, flattered, signed it into law. Now here's what you need to understand. In the Medo-Persian Empire, a royal decree could not be changed, not even by the king himself. Once it was sealed, it was.
Daniel heard about the decree. He knew what it meant. He knew what the punishment was. He knew those lions were real, starving, restless, dangerous, and what did he do? He went home. He opened the windows of his upstairs room, windows that faced Jerusalem, and he got on his knees 3 times a day. Just like he always had, he didn't hide. He didn't whisper.
He didn't take a 30-day prayer break just to be safe. He prayed openly, giving thanks to God, just as he had done before. That right there is courage. Not the absence of fear, but the decision that God is worth more than my safety.
The men who set the trap were watching. Of course they were. They rushed to the king and said, "Did you not publish a decree? Daniel, one of the exiles from Judah, pays no attention to you, or to the decree you put in writing. He still prays 3 times a day." The Bible says the king was greatly distressed. He liked Daniel. He respected him. He spent the rest of the day trying to find a way to rescue him. But the law was the law at sundown.
At sundown, they brought Daniel to the pit. And before they lowered him in, King Darius said something remarkable. "May your God, whom you serve continually, rescue you." Even the pagan king believed.
Daniel went down into that pit. A stone was placed over the mouth of the pit. The king sued because of his sin. There was no going back. King Darius grew out. He refused entertainment. He couldn't sleep. He tossed and turned all night long, tormented. Worried, hopeful, Daniel, the lions, picture it. Darkness, the sound of breathing, the smell of animals, the weight of stone above him. And yet, peace. Because when you walk with God, you are never truly alone. God sent his angel and shut the mouths of the lions. They threw him to the lions, but they forgot who his God was. The king was overjoyed. Daniel was lifted out, and not a scratch was found on him, because he had trusted in his God. Here's what this story is really about. Daniel didn't pray because it was convenient. He prayed because it was his lifestyle. Faith isn't something you turn on when you're in the pit. It's something you build before the pit ever comes. The lions didn't scare Daniel more than God could protect him. And here's the wild part. The men who plotted against Daniel, they were thrown into that same pit. The lions overpowered them instantly. What was meant to destroy Daniel ended up destroying his enemies. They threw him to the lions, but they forgot who his God was.